Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, why am I still the same? You've read the books, watched the videos, maybe even written down your goals, but something's still holding you back. You want to change. You're even desperate to. But months pass, years go by, and you're stuck in the same loop. Here's the truth. Change isn't about more motivation. It's not about finding the perfect routine. It's about understanding what's really keeping you stuck. And once you do, you'll finally break free. Let us uncover what's really going on and how you can take back control of your life starting today. 1. The illusion of later. Let's begin with one of the most dangerous lies we tell ourselves. I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next year. And before you know it, a decade slips through your fingers. Why do we do this? Because later feels safe. It gives us a false sense of progress. We feel good thinking about who we'll become, even if we're doing nothing to get there. But here's the problem. The version of you that's waiting for the right time will never change. Because that version is addicted to comfort. Real change starts the moment you stop romanticizing someday and start acting. Even when it's uncomfortable, even when you're not ready. 2. You're trapped by identity. Not laziness. Most people think they're not changing because they're lazy. But it's deeper than that. You act based on who you believe you are. If deep down you believe, I'm just not disciplined, or I always give up, then every time you try to change, your subconscious pulls you back to match that identity. It's like trying to climb out of a pit while tied to a rope anchored to the bottom. Until you rewrite the story you tell yourself, nothing will stick. So ask yourself, what identity are you clinging to that no longer serves you? Who do you believe you are? And is it time to upgrade that belief? 3. Your environment is sabotaging you. You are not stronger than your environment. Let that sink in. If you're constantly surrounded by distractions, negativity, or people who don't support your growth, how can you expect to thrive? It's like planting a seed in toxic soil and wondering why it won't grow. Want to change? Change your environment. Start small. Clean your space. Limit your exposure to things that drain you. Spend more time with people who inspire you, not just the ones who are always available. You don't have to cut everyone off, but you do need to protect your energy like your life depends on it. Because in a way, it does. 4. You're waiting to feel like it. Here's a harsh truth. You won't always feel motivated. Change doesn't wait for the perfect mood. It responds to action. Think of it like pushing a boulder. The first push is the hardest, but once it's moving, momentum takes over. Waiting to feel like doing the work is the reason many never start, or start and then stop. Discipline is doing it, especially when you don't feel like it. So what's the solution? Don't think, just start. Tell yourself, I'll do it for 5 minutes. That small start often turns into more. But even if it doesn't, you showed up, and that's powerful. 5. You're addicted to comfort. Change demands discomfort. But your brain, it craves familiarity. That's why you keep going back to the same habits, even when you know they're holding you back. Your mind thinks, this is safe. This is what I know. Let's stay here. But growth only happens outside that comfort zone. Think about a butterfly. Before it can fly, it must struggle out of the cocoon. That struggle is what makes its wings strong enough to fly. If someone cuts the cocoon to make it easier, the butterfly never gains the strength to soar. Your struggle is building your wings. Embrace the discomfort. It means you're growing. 6. You're setting goals. Without systems, goals are exciting. They give you direction. But goals alone don't change you. Systems do. Let's say your goal is to get fit. That's great. But what's your system? If you, Dante, have a system that makes it easy to show up, like planning your workouts, prepping meals, or setting reminders, then the goal becomes a wish. Success isn't about doing massive things once. It's about doing small things consistently. So instead of saying, I want to be successful, ask, What system will make success inevitable? Design your day to support the person you want to become, and then stick with it, even when progress feels invisible. 7. You're not tracking progress. Here's something most people miss. What gets measured gets improved. If you're not tracking your actions, you won't see how far you've come. And that lack of visible progress kills motivation. Think of a fitness journey. If you only look at the scale and it doesn't move, you feel defeated. But if you track strength, endurance, or consistency, you realize you are improving. Same with any change. Track your habits. Celebrate small wins. Remind yourself, progress is happening, even if it's slow. It's not about perfection. It's about persistence. 8. You're trying to do it alone. There's a myth in self-help that you have to do everything alone. That needing help is weakness. That's false. We're social creatures, are wired to grow in connection. When you surround yourself with people who are also growing, it amplifies your own growth. It could be a mentor, a friend, a community, even a virtual one. Change gets easier when you're not carrying the load by yourself. So find someone who believes in the version of you that you're trying to become, and let them remind you when you forget. 9. You're not forgiving yourself. One of the biggest barriers to change. Shame. You've failed before. Maybe you've made mistakes. Maybe you've hurt others or yourself. And part of you believes you don't deserve to change. But here's the truth. You are not your past. You are not your worst moment. You are not your bad habit. You are not broken. You are becoming. Change starts with compassion, not excuses, but understanding. Look at your past and learn from it, but don't let it define you. The future you want doesn't care who you were. It cares about who you're becoming right now. 10. You haven't made it non-negotiable. Here's the bottom line. Until change becomes non-negotiable, it remains optional. And as long as it's optional, your brain will choose comfort. Think of something in your life that you always do, like brushing your teeth. You don't negotiate with yourself about it. You just do it. That's the level you need to bring to the habits you care about. Decide now, this is who I am. This is what I do. No more hoping. No more maybe. No more waiting. Just action. Ownership. Momentum. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're not lazy. You've just been fighting the wrong battle, using willpower instead of understanding, force instead of strategy. But now you know. You know why you haven't changed, and you know how to finally break free. The question is, will you take the first step today? Because change doesn't start in some distant future. It starts right now. So breathe deep, stand tall, and step forward. Your new life is waiting.